I came across a New York Times article that shocked me. It said that at Howard University, one of the most prestigious and well-known HBCUs, only 25% of the students are men, and only 19% are Black men. We often talk about how HBCUs are spaces for Black excellence. So how is it that Black men are disappearing from the very institutions built for them? Today's video is personal and political. I want to unpack why so few Black men are enrolling in and graduating from college, what barriers block their success, how this current administration is making things worse, and what can we do about it? Because when Black men are locked out of college, it's not just their future that suffers. We all suffer. Black men are not disappearing from college because they lack talent or ambition. They're blocked by systemic barriers, stripped of resources, and underserved by institutions that don't reflect their identities or support their growth. And while the barriers are real, we also need to highlight their strengths, their resilience, their leadership, their creativity, and how they do show up. But we also need to name this. Black men carry the weight of racist assumptions. Just take this racist tweet from Matt Walsh, for example, where he outright claims that young Black men are inherently violent. Tweets like this don't exist in a vacuum. They reinforce and reflect the very stereotypes that Black boys grow up navigating every single day, especially in school. So let's revisit that Howard stat. The article says that Howard is 25% men, but only 19% are Black men. So I'm wondering, where are the other 6%? I'm assuming some of the non-Black men of color, maybe Latino, Asian, multiracial, or even white men. The article points to rising college costs, family financial pressure, and K-12 experiences that dismiss or discourage Black boys' potential. Black men account for 26% of the students at HBCUs, down from an already low 38% in 1970. This reflects a national crisis. This aligns with Dr. Mandy Savage-Romer's research. She talks about how a college-going identity forms as early as middle school. If you're finding this breakdown helpful, hit the like button so more people see this. And if you want deep dives about education, subscribe. She emphasizes the importance of identity, motivation, and self-regulation. Identity is how students see themselves and what they believe is possible. Especially for Black boys, developing a strong academic identity is tough when they're so often criminalized or underestimated. Motivation is about why students want to succeed, wanting to uplift your community. It drives long-term commitment more than external rewards.
There's a difference between wanting to go to college versus someone else telling you they want you to go to college. Because when you go to college for reasons that you don't know why, then you drop out. Because you don't know why you're there. You're going for someone else. It's like a promise that you're keeping that's not yours. It's not your own promise.
And then there's self-regulation. That's the ability to stay focused and follow through. So there's executive functioning skills like time management and persistence often go underdeveloped in students that haven't had access to supportive environment. When we say that students, particularly Black men, are not college ready, we're talking about a lack of support, not a lack of potential. And even those who do make it to college, the struggles don't stop. At primarily white institutions, Black men often face isolation and constant pressure to prove themselves. At HBCUs, affirmation is more common, but so is pressure. There was one study that I saw that examined gifted Black men at HBCUs, and it showed that they still felt imposter syndrome and burnout. Then there's studies on Black male initiatives. I remember President Barack Obama had this initiative called My Brother's Keeper, where it highlights the power of community. And what made the difference was brotherhood programs that said, we see you, we hear you, we got you. As the article said, male fears can work against college attendance. Fears of failure may deter Black men from higher education, even as fears of letting their families down drive them prematurely into the workforce. Some Black men choose HBCUs out of a desire to uplift their community, and that's intrinsic motivation in action. And it underscores Mandy Savage-Romer's point that it's not enough to want success. You have to believe that you can achieve it. And now, as we've seen all over the news, these support systems are under attack. The Trump administration is dismantling DEI programs, cutting teacher training grants, and threatening institutions that promote racial equity. And when these programs disappear, it impacts students and staff. Because think about it, educators who have not been trained to support underrepresented students may now be disincentivized to even try. fearing political or financial consequences. And this is why the social sciences matter. There's a tendency to undervalue the social sciences, but it's exactly where disciplines like developmental psychology are crucial. And Savage Romer's work shows that self-efficacy and motivation aren't innate. They're shaped by somebody's experience, support, and trauma. And just telling students to go to college isn't enough. We need to help them believe that they belong there. This is how we improve advising, classrooms, and policy. So yes, social science does matter, and it gives voice to what data alone can't show. Let's talk about this college is a scam narrative. Yes, college is flawed, but the data is also clear. A bachelor's degree still increases lifetime earnings compared to a high school diploma. But then it's just not just about money. College builds skills, critical thinking, time management, collaboration. The issue isn't that college doesn't work. It's that it hasn't worked equally for everyone, especially for young Black men. This isn't just about access. It's about visibility. It's about believing the opportunity is real and meant for you. But I do have hope. Still, there are people fighting the good fight. Recently, I saw Kamala Harris say,
"I'm not here, so I told you so."
Honestly, it's okay, Auntie. I'm gonna say it. Black women agree with you. You are not wrong. States are pushing back. Nonprofits are stepping up. This week, I led a training on how do you integrate social emotional learning when it comes to college advising for this organization that I'm proud to serve on the board of and where I was once a high school participant called College Visions. Something really powerful came up. A lot of the advisors shared that their students, who are mostly Black and brown, low income and first gen, weren't struggling because they didn't want to succeed. They were struggling with foundational skills. Communication, time management, and belief in themselves. One program director shared how even when he was a student at Temple University, he didn't know how to go to office hours and ask for classmates for help. That's not about intelligence. That's about confidence and access and feeling that just like I paid tuition to attend these schools, I deserve the resources that are given to me and afforded to me. It just reminded me how much of college success hinges on the things that we don't explicitly teach. The hidden curriculum, the soft skills, the self-advocacy. And just last year, they instituted another initiative called the Black and Latino Male Fellowship. They offer monthly learning circles for high school juniors focused on identity, leadership, mental health, and college access. And then students also get one-on-one check-ins. They also get a stipend and continued support. And because organizations like College Visions gets a lot of individual donations and not too much of government funding, they can stay flexible. And they're centered on students of color without fear of losing financial risk or political backlash. So where are the Black men in college? Some are still there, but still fighting to be seen. Many never made it because what society failed to provide: belief, guidance, and support. And we can't keep pretending like this isn't an issue. We can't keep gutting the very programs that are helping. So if you're an educator, policymaker, mentor, or if you're just someone that is interested in learning about education, you also have a role to play because this is about equity. This is about access. This is about our collective future. And so the Black boys who are watching, who are pursuing higher education, I just want to let you know that I believe in you and that your future is worth fighting for. And speaking of the future, if this video resonated with you, check out my video that talks about the school to prison pipeline and how it especially fails Black athletes. Because it's not just about talent. It's about how systems are designed to use Black bodies, but not always meant to nurture Black minds.